Hello subscribers! In the previous video, we had to talk about the tax regime in Switzerland. So here we go with all the information necessary to understand its tax regime. Tax regimes for Swiss residents. There are two main types of Swiss taxation frameworks. The Forfait Fiscal, taxation according to expenditure. Switzerland has one of the world's oldest special tax regimes for wealthy foreigners, known as the Forfait Fiscal. It is very stable and predictable, and the risk of it disappearing or significantly changing in the short or medium term is extremely low. This tax regime is generally attractive for the very wealthy and has the added advantage of exempting them from having to report all their income and assets to the tax authorities. The idea is simple. Instead of taxing wealthy immigrants on the basis of their worldwide income and wealth, they are taxed based on their annual worldwide expenditure. A lump sum is generally used because it is challenging to estimate their effective expenses. To qualify for this scheme, you must not be a Swiss national, have not been a tax resident in Switzerland for the last 10 years, and not engage in a gainful activity in Switzerland. In principle, the lump sum tax base is 7 times your property's annual rent or rental value in Switzerland. There are minimum thresholds for the tax base, which vary from canton to canton. In practice, depending on the canton, you can expect to pay a minimum tax liability of between CHF 100,000 and CHF 160,000 a year. People applying for a residence permit for a major fiscal public interest should expect to pay higher minimum amounts, typically between CHF 250,000 and CHF 300,000, or even up to CHE 400,000, depending on the canton. The annual tax bill may be higher than the minimum, depending on the home's value or annual lifestyle expenses. Lump sum taxation exists in most cantons, but not all. For example, it is impossible to benefit from this system in the cantons of Zurich or Basel. The ordinary tax regime. Despite the attractiveness of the lump sum regime, many wealthy foreigners are taxed under the ordinary system for various reasons. Some are not eligible for the lump sum system, and some choose to live in cantons without a lump sum taxation system. Interestingly, lump sum taxation is not the most advantageous solution for all high net worth foreigners, since the ordinary system also includes some very attractive niches. Swiss tax residents subject to the ordinary regime are taxed annually on their worldwide income and wealth, except for certain assets abroad, such as real estate. The cantons and municipalities are free to set their own rates. As a result, there are true domestic tax havens within Switzerland or some cantons. Capital gains realized on private assets are not taxable, which makes Switzerland attractive for foreigners wishing to sell their company or other valuable assets. The Swiss pension system allows you to make essential savings on income tax, typically when you run your own business. Property acquisition. Swiss law severely restricts the ability of foreigners to acquire property in Switzerland. Non-resident foreigners can only buy commercial property, rent it out, or for their own use, or holiday accommodation. People may only purchase holiday homes in restricted tourist areas and may not exceed a specific size, 200 square meters of living space, possibly up to 250 square meters, and 1,500 square meters of land. In addition to that rule, the government allocates a quota of holiday homes annually to each canton. Swiss residents, on the other hand, have greater access to Swiss property. Non-European citizens with provisional residency can buy a primary residence on a plot of land of up to 3,000 square meters. Overruns can be tolerated. Non-EU citizens with permanent residency and all EU citizens with residency, provisional or permanent, have unlimited access to Swiss property. We have reached to the end of the video. We hope that the information we have given you about the Swiss tax system has been of great use to you, and that you will contact us soon if you would like to acquire permanent residence, Swiss citizenship, or buy your property in this European destination. We hope to see you again in the next video. See you next time.